Hello, love bugs. Today, I want to take a minute to talk about one of the things that I get asked about while playing Palia more than anything else, which is how the heck do I make money so that I can build all the things that I want to build? I don't simply want to talk, though, about how to make the most money in Palia. I think there's a lot of different guides and things out there that you can find. I want to talk about the most fun ways to make money in Palia, at least according to me. So let's get to it. First off, let me start by apologizing a little bit by saying that you really do need to be gardening. Now, there are a lot of ways to absolutely maximize the amount of money that you are getting for gardening. There are guides all over the place that you can find online, depending on what it is that you want to do. But if you're like me and you kind of like to have a little bit of a mixture of items, just depending on what you're doing, maybe you like to cook with your friends and have ingredients that are available. It's entirely up to you what you want to garden with or how you want to do it. But at the end of the day, your garden needs to have its items processed. So just like everything else when gardening, or everything else in the game, when gardening, you want to actually do something. Don't just make a bunch of potatoes or make a bunch of apples and then just sell those pieces because they look like they're worth so much money. You need to process them, whether that means crafting them into preserves. Apple jam obviously sells for an absolute ton if you want to do that. Or in my case, doing pickled potatoes. You can see how much more these potatoes are worth once I have pickled them compared to them when they're not pickled. So just an instant, immediate way that you're making additional money just by crafting preserves. So no matter what you want to make, definitely try and do that. And again, there's a million guides out there depending on what you want to do. It used to be that tomatoes were the thing, but things have changed a lot. Things are going to change again. There are also ways that you can make your garden so you don't have to run back every day. But I personally don't mind coming back every day, just depending on what it is that I'm doing in the game, because my pockets get full really fast. And that is going to kind of bring me to my next point. You should be selling everything. A lot of us have very full inventories to begin with, and we tend to hoard way too much stuff. If it cannot be processed back at home, my potatoes can be processed back at home, my copper can be processed, this can be processed. My wood doesn't make me any more money being in planks, and I don't need wood right now, so I'm going to sell it. I don't need fiber right now, so I'm going to sell it. I'm not needing sundrop lilies, so I'm going to sell it. Stop throwing away items just because they are worth just a low amount. When you go on runs, make sure that you come back anytime your pockets are full and sell everything. Which leads me to kind of the most important point of this entire video. Oh, but first, Lucky Box, could it be a plushie? Thanks a lot, Zeki. You're the worst. Sell it! How to make the real cash in a really fun way. Now, my most fun way to do anything in this game is with friends, but I didn't grab any friends today because I know a lot of you don't have friends groups that play as frequently as you do, or maybe aren't on at the same time as you. And sometimes when we're making money, we just want to zone out and do it and not have to worry about chasing other people around or communicating or our chat working or being in chat or whatever. And so I fully understand. So I'm going to show you what I would do as a solo player. Now, the big important thing is that I'm going to do everything that I love to do and nothing that I don't. The good thing about Palia in like the last year is that they've really balanced everything out in the game. I really love hitting rocks. I don't mind grabbing foraging as I'm going. And I also really like hunting for plushies. So I'm going to do all of those things right now until my pockets are full. The important part of this is that I'm going to do it in Bahari. I am also going to process anything that I get that I can process, and then I'm going to sell anything that I can't. So as I run through, I'm going to go ahead and smack rocks. I am not going to bother with Muujin. Muujin, in my opinion, are unless they're the low level Muujin that can get shot before they run into the tree. I'm not going to bother with like blue bristles and stuff because unfortunately those are just too hard to get without a group. But as I run into Choppas, as I run into Cernuk, I'm going to go ahead and take them out because not only am I looking for money, I can also be finding plushies. And what a celebration it is when you're running around hunting and grabbing things, and then you also get to take home a plushie, a starred gemstone, something to decorate with. Now, if it is nighttime and I am running into bugs, sometimes I will go ahead and attack them, but since we've been doing the honey lures, I haven't really been focusing on bugs. In my opinion, if you're just looking to make the most money, I would recommend ignoring the bugs and just hit rocks, ignoring the bugs for now. Go ahead and grab mushrooms and things, just because it doesn't take that much energy for you to grab them as you run. You could even cancel it if you wanted, but make sure that you are grabbing all of the big rocks. Not only do the materials inside sell for a lot of money like they always have, that out of getting the gemstones is also good. The other thing that's good is grabbing these guys. As the little centipedes pop out of the rocks, they are going to appear. Not only are they themselves worth quite a bit of money that are going to get you some gold, but they're going to give you one of the most high value items in the game, which is silk. And once you turn their little silk thread into actual silk, you're going to make yourself some pretty serious cash. So the hitting rocks is kind of my big way of doing it. But maybe you're like, oh, Ravi, I really just hate hitting rocks. They're just not my favorite. I'm over it. I'm sick of looking for the starred ruby, and I feel you, fam. I still don't have one either. Then don't. You can also just run around and hunt. Hunting Sernuk, hunting Choppa is going to make you a significant amount of money. Between their tails to turning their meat into glowworms, you're going to be able to make yourself some serious money by doing something you actually enjoy doing in the game. The big trick here is just to keep going, don't stop, and also make sure that you aren't letting your pockets fill up and then running off to someplace else because you just want to keep hunting this one particular thing, or, oh, I'll just get one more deer. No, do not delete anything from your pockets. Make sure that you go and sell it. So this is my little path that I like to run. I will go ahead and share it with all of you up on the map here really quick as we go up. But obviously right through here, we often can find lots of Sernuk. Sometimes they're not here, which is also okay. Just keep going. Grab any foragery that you see that you can grab, and then keep going on your loop, which is, I generally like to start right up here at the outskirts, which is where our which is the entrance from your house. You're gonna just run down through flooded steps. Run down through ancient aqueduct, right, sometimes back through here, hitting any of the rocks and stuff through here. Then I'll actually run down to Coral Shores now, because you can also grab oysters and things from down here. Make sure that you leave, don't open your oysters here. Keep them unopened. Keep them in your pockets. We're not going to open them until we're ready to sell at Zeki's. I run up through Statue Garden and then back up through here. Oops, sorry, as I zoomed off. All the way up through Thorny Thicket by Tamala's house, and then all the way back around. If my pockets are full by the time I get back here, I go ahead and either run home or use the fast travel to go see Zeki, depending on if I want to go drop off my items to get them going first, or if I need to go to Zeki's. It just depends on if my what time of the day it is, if I have space inside of my bin or not. So let's fast forward a little. One lap is now done. It didn't take me very long at all. I'm still not full though, and I want to maximize my time. So I'm going to go until I'm full. The moment that I'm full, I'm going to hightail it back, reload all of my machines, go ahead as well, because the day has changed over, and I'm going to take care of my garden, and then I'm going to sell what is in my pockets. So, and now the important part. I really want you to look at my pockets. So first off, I just kind of did what I wanted to do. I focused on hitting stones, hoping to get myself some starred stones to keep, and ignore the potatoes that I forgot to process before I left. So I got one starred stone that I'm going to keep. It is worth 315 gold. It's not a big expensive one, but you could sell it if you wanted to. I also got 3 garnets worth another 540 gold just in those 3. I also went after hunting the bugs when I hit the stones, which gave me 15 silk. It's only worth 330 now, but what you saw earlier, like just how much silk is worth once you process it. So obviously continuing to add that to my arsenal is going to make me more money. Now, I typically wouldn't have hit the crabs. I think I just hit them because they were there, if I'm being totally honest with you. And also I wouldn't suggest that you go after snails typically, because they're not worth that much, but I did. And that's the important part of why this isn't just how to maximize your fun. I found 13 snails just running around trying to make money that could have turned into a plushie. They weren't this time, but that's okay. I still got 13 snails, which is a pretty good shot at going towards getting myself a snail plushie. Just like I hit a couple of lantern bugs. They're not worth very much money, but it was fun chasing them down quick to try and make myself some money. Now I'm going to go ahead and sell all the items that I got from the different Sernuk. So let's just go ahead and throw all of my things in the trash that are the typical trash. And also remember to open your oysters and not throw them away. Now, from this run, this is just the money that I'm going to make from the items that I'm not choosing to take any additional steps with or process. Mostly our big money makers are going to be like the Muujin mains. Obviously, the centipedes are also worth a decent amount of money. The antlers, those are kind of going to be some of the big money makers. And I haven't even opened my oysters yet to see what I'm going to make from them. And I'm already almost at 5,000 gold. Now I've gone and opened up my oysters, which give me the same value as they were unopened. But I also happen to get a green pearl worth another 295 gold. Or if you're like me and you know how rare these green pearls are, you might want to keep it to use for friendship items or for quests or whatever the case may be. However, now that I'm home, I'm going to go process everything else to turn it into money. Silk and leather will go into fabric makers to make you more money. It's actually perfect timing right here. 15 pieces of silk. Once the silk is turned into, the silk thread is turned into actual silk, 3,375 is our value. I mean, how crazy is that? Now, I would suggest having a couple of these to have leather and silk going instead of having wood out right now. Do as I say, not as I do. I kind of run my stuff more based on decorating than making money. So I often need wood planks. Then you're also going to craft glass. So go ahead and throw your stone into here to turn into glass panes. But then after turning it into glass panes, I suggest turning it into glass bulbs. Glass bulbs are actually worth a pretty decent amount of money, and you're going to be running through so much stone in this game. You're going to have it going kind of all the time. So I highly recommend go after making glass panes, but then turn those glass panes into bulbs. You'll use them for decorating if you don't decide to use them for just for money. But even if you do, I mean, seriously, you're gonna make so much more money off of the glass bulbs. Like 34 gold each. I know it doesn't seem like much, but moving up the stone from the stones being worth just just one each to then suddenly being worth all of that, it's a big change in the amount of money that you make. So throw those stones in there. Don't just sell them. You can actually make some cash. Then I'm just going to go ahead and load any iron or anything that I have. Iron bars are also a thing. Don't be afraid to sell them like me. Pallium as well. Look at how much iron. Actually, I'll show you this in an actual chest. If you look up how much I currently have in like iron and pallium, it's kind of ridiculous because I do this so much. I kind of also think of it as like my hidden piggy bank because I have over 100,000 gold just in iron bars right now, and I do sell it. And if you look at my pallium, I also have over 100,000 gold in, you know, a third less of pallium. So it's kind of my little piggy bank, but it's also a little unnecessary. If you're running around and hitting rocks a lot, you're going to always have those resources. I do recommend keeping any gold or any silver that you find. Typically, they have ended up being really, really rare in the game, and you do need them to make particular items in the game. A lot of us are struggling to get honey lures at the moment, so I would actually recommend do not sell your gold or your silver. Now, as far as your meat and other materials go, this again comes down to what you find fun. If you like cooking, or if you have some friends coming over for a cooking party and you want to cook for some money, that is a completely wonderful way for you to make some money, or even just to cook by yourself to get your weeklies and use your meat to make yourself some steaks or something. You will make more money that way. The best way, however, is going to be doing worm farms. So take the meat that you got, even if it's not enough to completely fill it, throw that in there to get you glowworms and to get you fertilizer, which are going to make you considerable amounts of money, especially if you go the extra mile to then go ahead and do some fishing with your glowworms, but that's entirely on you. Some people just really hate fishing in the game. I like fishing when it's for plushies with my friends. I tend to hate fishing when it's by myself. So it's just entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it. You can also throw your oyster meat in there, which will also give you worms and give you different kinds of fertilizer as well. And then once you're done tending your garden and repairing your tools, it would be time to go out again. Now, some of you might be wrapping up this video being like, Ravi, I mean, you made some money, sure, but I knew that I could make money those ways, and I get it. And that's honestly kind of the point of this video. Palia has changed so much in the last year. There are now so many ways to make money in the game and so many things that you can do alongside making money in the game. You do not need to stress so much about perfecting your garden or only going after these particular items or only fishing these fish and then turning them into that. If you enjoy gaming that way, go for it. But if that sounds tedious, repetitive, and awful to you, just go hunt the things that you want in the game. Go hunt for the plushies that you're dying to have. Go hunt for star stones. Go play with your friends. And just make sure that along the way, when your pockets are full, you actually turn the items into meaningful things that are going to make you money. And if you do that, you're always going to be flush with gold. I mean, I'm not really rolling in it right now, but I'm doing okay. All right. I love you all so much. I hope you get lots of money and find lots of plushies. And maybe starred rubies so you can rub them in my face. Okay, I love you. Bye-bye.